Are you familiar with the phrase dance like no one's watching? I mean, for the most part, everyone's heard it at least once in their life, and the idea is you basically enjoy your life as if there's no one else around you. Live your life as if no one's judging you. The reason it's very prominent now, especially in today's society, not the phrase, but the idea of dance like no one's watching, right? Like the idea of being yourself. Because a lot of us end up, portraying a character of sorts. It might not be like an actual character, like, oh, that's like a whole nother person. Could be for some people. But what I'm speaking of is being, acting as if you're someone that you're not. So if you're like a regular average Joe who you know, works at like Walmart, but you want to impress this person so you can be their friend or so you can meet them, and well, you want to just impress them because you're embarrassed of who you are. You might just lie about you, be like, yeah, no, I'm a big business major. I'm making lots of money. I work in a bank. I check the stocks. I'm an investor. I'm pretty well off. Meanwhile, you're working paycheck to paycheck, as a lot of people are, including myself. But that's not important. Um, you're ashamed of who you are, and you're trying to change who you are, and that's something that happens with everyone in today's society to some degree. Some are better at, just being themselves than others because they don't feel the need to try to fit in, and those are the people we should really be looking up to. Now, I am definitely one to talk because I have struggled with wanting to fit in plenty of times, and when I was younger, like a teenager, I would try to fit in, and that's probably a natural thing. I was bullied a lot when I was younger, and when I grew up, I started making some friends, and it was for me just like trying to uh, do things that would get me attention. I would be funny in class. I would sit there and be loud, or I was one of those kids sometimes. And it wasn't a crazy degree, but I was definitely a little out there. And um, I think it's perfectly natural for younger people to struggle with their own self-identity and try to, you know, mask their insecurity by trying to be someone else. But with the introduction of social media, in my generation, I saw like a little bit of this. But in the more recent generations, everyone's just trying to be someone they're not. They try to squeeze themselves in every little box they can. Case in point, if you look at the fake disorder community on TikTok, the people who say that they have mental disorders, like debilitating mental disorders, and act as if it's fact without being diagnosed, and they're trying to use that as a quirky thing to get in, it ends up becoming really harmful to the other people who actually suffer from it. And you might be wondering, like, well, why would anyone want to do that? And it's because of their fear of themselves. They feel that they're not interesting enough to make friends or to fit into society, so they end up masking it by pretending and being somebody that they're not. And when you put yourself in that situation, you end up a lot unhappier than you would have if you were just being yourself. And that's why I think it's very relevant for me to talk about um, dance like no one's watching, because the best way to live your life is just living it as if you're not being judged. Because if you think about it, especially as you get older, no, like if you're really judging people on who they are based on like superficial factors, I'm not saying that you can't judge people based on their character. I'm not, but when you're judging people based on what they own or how they act, and then you're just like a pretty shitty human being. I'm not even gonna hold you. And when you sit there and push yourself to not be the person that you are, you're giving them all the power. You shouldn't give yourself away so that they can feel more comfortable with themselves and you can feel uncomfortable with yourself. It's so much more hassle to try and act and pretend as if like you're a completely different persona than you are, and it's really not worth it in the end. I would just say, no matter who you are, unless you're like doing things that are completely malicious and harmful to somebody, especially physically or mentally, even spiritually, if you're doing things directly to harm people, then if you're not, I mean, then just be yourself. If you are doing things and you are intentionally and maliciously harming people, I would definitely just say go get some help because that is not normal. I'm not trying to shame anyone here, but I think that most people are, humanely good. Like the human race is mostly good. Obviously, there's some like disconnects there. Some people who are only for themselves. I'm not saying that every single person is good, but I also feel like a lot of us can make the choice to be good. And if you think that you're enjoying harming people in a negative way, then that's not a good idea. So be yourself, unless you're like ruthless. And if you're ruthless and want to hurt people, then definitely go figure that out. Or just become like, I don't know, like a corporation owner, like start a business, because people who are ruthless climb their way to the top easier. And that's like a straight up fact. Just don't like hurt anyone on the way up. Like just use your cutthroat and what's it called? And forward thinking nature to like, do something productive with yourself or do something productive for society. You can climb up the ladder and do good by, putting money. Like, I know people who are bad would not be doing this, but, there's plenty of things you could do to make good out of a bad situation if you can't exactly help it, I mean, I'm not saying it's a fix all for everything, but yeah, I'm just gonna say be yourself. Just be yourself and figure out who you are to be yourself. That way, there's no questioning later in life like, what did I do with myself? Who am I? Existential crises are not fun, and I wouldn't want that on anybody. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here. What's it called? Leave a comment saying a good way, saying something good about yourself that you like about yourself. And I guess I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace, broskies. See ya.